Hester inside the 30. Hester's going to take it all the way for a touchdown.
Fields stumbling, trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown!
Hurts on first down, fires downfield. It's Deshaun Jackson back in the lineup. Missed the last 7 games, and he will take it 81 yards. A somersault into the end zone. His first touchdown of the season.
You're listening to The Pigskin Project, the world's #1 football podcast. Now, with more insights on all things football, here are your hosts, Ben Hansen and Ryan Matthews.
And as always, Matt is here too. Let's not leave the man out. He's been an MVP as well, stepping in for me when stuff's hit the fan.
Because you're ducking. Anyways,
I'm not ducking. Anyways, I'm back. Feels great. It's pretty cool. You know, things have happened since then. A lot of things, actually. This is my first episode of the year. You know, cool feeling. Guys, how are we feeling? I'm feeling great. How about you guys? Ben, how you doing? Playoffs.
I bet you two are feeling great. You guys got something to look forward to on Friday. I got something to look forward to on Sunday. We all have playoff rooting stakes, which, you know, is fun to say with you guys being Bears and Saints fans. But it's going to be a fun week of playoff football, and I'm glad that's kind of been, I think, the biggest advantage of the 12 team is that, like, we get college football playoffs happening at the same time as NFL playoffs, and it's just a beautiful, like, 2-week span of just football, just transcendence. It's beautiful.
Matt, how you doing?
Yeah, I have nothing to say except it's a joy to be here.
It is a joy to be here. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Matt, you're going down on Friday. It's gonna be beautiful. However, I feel like there might be a more glorious win we got to talk about, and ladies and gentlemen, we need to get there soon. So let's go ahead and do weekly review here. Starting with Saturday, I was in the Dells. It was a lot of fun. You know, went to go and see some family, stuff like that. And I had the privilege of actually sitting down and watching the Browns and Ravens game. King Henry, man, he's fun to watch. Ravens beat the Browns 35-10 to win the AFC North. And then the Bengals beat the Steelers 19-17 in what I think is a last-ditch effort for the playoffs. Pretty bummed out that the Bengals didn't make it. Guys, what do you think about the Saturday slate?
Yeah, I mean, you would have hoped to see a team like the Bengals make it. I mean, they fought like no other the last couple weeks of the season, but I mean, Bo Nix had something different to say about it. So,
yeah. Matt, anything about these two?
Yeah, I mean, if the playoffs had like the college football playoff committee, they would have been in because it's about the wins down the stretch, and the Bengals finished 5 straight. Joe Burrow threw for almost 5,000 yards, had 40-plus touchdowns. He's in the MVP conversation, but he didn't make the playoffs. So it is what it is. No more Joe Burrow for this year. No more Jamar Chase, who won the Triple Crown, by the way. Pretty impressive stuff. But, yeah, I mean, the butterfly effect of the Patriots and the Bengals in week 1 is stagnant.
Yeah. Panthers doing God's work, you know, beating the Falcons. It's pretty awesome. Good for Bryce Young. I mean, 44-38 for the victory. I mean, that's something to go into the offseason. And although your defense gave up 38 points, it's a lot more optimism that you probably walked in with Bryce Young. So I'm pretty excited about that for them. Commanders beat the Cowboys 23-19.
Jaden looked like trash. Like, to the point, like, I don't know if the plan was always to pull him at halftime, but they did. I mean, there's a very real possibility that they sat down and they said, you know, we're going to pull you at halftime. The Packers are losing right now. There's no point in, you know, keeping you in this game. But I there's also a very good chance that they pulled him at halftime because they said, you are not playing good at all. We don't want this psyche. We don't want this, bad energy to mess you up heading into the playoffs. He looked very, very bad in that game. So it's going to be interesting to see how he bounced back this week.
It is. Yeah. And I mean, for one, I just got to say this really quick. Because I did discuss it with a user on Twitter today. For those of you that think it's cool to compare the rookies on their first season, maybe I'm just biased because I have a team that has a rookie quarterback. But please just leave the comparisons alone for maybe the first year or two at least. Please.
If my thing though is if Caleb Williams was the best rookie quarterback this year, you're telling me you wouldn't have been look at this. Caleb Williams is by far the best rookie. It's just fun, and I think it gives teams that didn't have hope something to look forward to.
That's a good point. I will say, I just don't like it. No matter what year it was, I don't. Last year, year before, whatever. It's just not It's not legit just yet. I don't know. But more fun conversation. You brought it up. Bears beat the Packers 24-22. Gentlemen, it happened. It happened. It finally happened. I don't know how to handle myself. I'll be honest with you. I've been riding out this high for the last 3 days. Okay. I finally had a victory Monday. It was almost 3 months worth of losses. Not fun. It's not been fun. And through the heartache, through whatever pain I had to endure, the torture that I had to see, I mean, a lot of yelling, it wasn't fun. And I'm sure people at Soldier heard plenty of it. It was all worth it. And it's stupid. I'm telling you right now, let me just describe the setting as I, figure out a way to get this in frame. So I was at the Dells, and I said, and Ben, you noted it last week. He's going to Wisconsin, and he is not coming back without a win. I said it, and I meant it, and it happened. I prayed for this, and it happened. Here's the thing. Drew McIntyre quote, by the way, for those of you watching wrestling. If not, watch it now. But anyways, I just want to say I was in an escape room with my family, and I felt horrible to a sense because I wasn't participating when the Bears were driving down the field with Caleb Williams. I've got 1 point to make about him, by the way. Very impressed. I'm sitting there about to throw up because Cairo Santos is about to kick this ball, and I'm like, I've seen this 4 times this season. How many, I talked to my coworker about it, who's also a Bears fan, and he summed it up in the most perfect way. He said, he looked at me and he goes, God doesn't hate me this much, does he? I don't think so. We'll see. And sure enough, he split the upright. He's good. And I didn't think the ball went in. I didn't believe it. I swear to God, I couldn't believe my eyes. They didn't call a timeout. He could have iced him. He could have made Cairo Santos kick that twice, and he didn't do it. Matt LaFleur, what are you doing? But thank you very much. Appreciate it. I needed this. So, for those of you Bears fans that think that this is the worst thing that happened this week because we jumped up 3 spots, sorry about it, I guess, but we beat Green Bay. The 1 point that I wanted to make about Caleb is that the dude's been sacked 70 times this year. He was on, was it a 10 or 11 game win streak? I mean, the dude's been fighting week in and week out for this team. And in the last minute of the regular season, he could have given up. He could have thrown in the towel. He could have just been sacked one more time, but he threw it away. He set the Bears up, got them in field goal position. He didn't give up, and he won the game for us. Cairo won the game for us. But, Caleb having that factor won the game for us, and I cannot tell you the last time the Bears had a quarterback that had the ability to not only do that in the last minute of the game once, but multiple times in a season as a rookie. Like you said, Ben, it gives teams with not a lot of hope something to look forward to. 5-12 is not at all what I was hoping for in the season, but what a way to end it. I'm very happy. Going into the offseason, I'm getting some bragging rights. And for those of you Packers fans that say it doesn't count because Jordan Love was hurt, blah, blah, blah. Malik Willis won you guys a couple games this year, and it ended up getting you in the playoffs. So I don't know. But Eagles, please win next week. Cut the head off of them, please. Rooting for you. That's the only game I'm rooting for you. Just saying, because not a Philly fan. But anyways, guys, did it. I hope you're as happy as I am, at least for me, because this is fun. This is good for me. I needed this. But yeah,
happy for you. Happy for you. It was funny because before the kick had went through, I think you texted in the chat, this is the most fitting way for the season to end. And I'm wondering if you sent that under the impression that you guys were going to miss. Or did you send that under the impression you guys were going to make it?
No.
I think that's
what I thought.
Penalty. It was because of the penalty.
Yeah, which was which is funny, but I am happy for you. And hey, it is going to be fun to say that your quarterback has never lost in Lambeau. When was the last time
undefeated?
When was the last time the Bears could say that?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. I'm so excited. Matt, what did you think of the game? Because I know you got some Bears fans at home.
Yeah, I mean, watching that final kick, how stark of a difference that you and all Bears fans feel if that kick doesn't go in. It's 11-game losing streak. It's again a loss at Lambeau. It's again Caleb drove us down against Green Bay and we miss a kick. And you're flying high. So I'm happy for you, buddy. I'm happy for the Packers fan. My father is a Packers fan, and he's told me, he's looked me dead in the eye. He says, I will take beating Green Bay twice a year over a Super Bowl most years. So that's what this rivalry means. It means everything to Bears fans. So it was a very important kick in the grand scheme of things of only making your team 5-12, but clearly look at a Bears fan right now.
This is the last thing I'm going to say before we move on. The way that Bears fans reacted to that game, that hasn't been a rivalry in years. It's a quote-unquote rivalry because of the history, but it's not a rivalry until you start winning. The way that Bears fans reacted to that game is the reason why this city needs and deserves better. I'm excited to see what comes. I'm hoping that more winning is on the way. Hey, before the Lions turned it around, they beat the Packers at Green Bay. Unfortunately, we didn't knock them out of the playoffs. But hey, just saying, it's probably not going to happen for us. But anyways, Jaguars lost to the Colts 23-26. Said that really weird. I'm overwhelmed. Green Bay sucks. In overtime, you could have gotten into this game for less than a $10 bill. Just letting you know. Getting into Lucas Oil is always a fun time. It's a beautiful stadium. We've gone multiple times since the creation of this podcast. And I don't know if you guys saw the ticket prices. However, you could have sat 3 rows away at the 50-yard line on the 100 section, 3 rows away from the Colts sideline. Guess how much? Ben?
$50.
It's not that low.
I'm bad at guessing. Just reveal.
150. 150.
Okay.
Each ticket.
Yeah.
150 each. That is a crazy low number for that.
That's more than what we paid to watch the Eagles-Bears game. The Eagles-Bears game wasn't quite the nosebleeds, but that was more than that, or that's less. Sorry, that's less than what we paid to watch the Eagles-Bears game in like the dead of winter, which is wild.
Yeah. I'm just saying, man, it's crazy. I remember there was a game, Bears versus Bills, a couple years ago where you could get in for like maybe $3. The thing is like you want to sit that close, you're still paying a couple $100 at least. And I mean, this is just ridiculous. Colts fans, if you haven't seen it, Colts fans are furious right now with, their ownership, their front office in general. It's just not living up to expectations of the team. And so Jim Irsay tweeted out that the stadium was going to be closed, like the roof was going to be closed. And somebody said, you should close your doors too, because ain't nobody want to go to this game. And I'm like, all right. And I was like, we'll see about that. And I checked the ticket prices. I'm like, all right, nobody wants to go to this game, even the season ticket holders. Even Pat McAfee, that has a private suite, had left it empty. Just crazy. But that's really the only talking point for the Colts.
Well, for both the Colts and Jags, and we'll make it quick because we have a long off season to talk about it. I am genuinely shocked that neither of the GMs for these teams in the game, so both Bulky and Ballard, did not get fired immediately after the game. Both of them are trash. I have no clue how either of them still have jobs. It's absurd. It is absurd.
Yeah. Patriots beat the Bills 23-16, costing themselves the number 1 overall pick. Speaking of draft order, we will be focusing more on this on our TikTok until the end of the season. Once TikTok goes away, if it goes away, that will probably be, I don't know, we'll figure out some way, shape, or form to get you some more content on the side. Eagles beat the Giants 20-13. Saquon didn't play, as we noted last week. Nothing really too special about this one, but congratulations, buddy. 14-3.
Tanner McKee's a dog. Yeah, Jalen Hurts better watch his back. That's what needs to happen. Tanner McKee's coming for his job. Anyways.
Hey, if Justin Fields doesn't get there first. 27-19, Bucks beat the Saints. Matt wasn't a happy camper about this one. Matt, what do you?
Yeah, the first 30 minutes I tweeted out it was some of the most ideal Saints football of the year. They had 4 drives in this game in the first half, 4 scoring drives, 3 field goals, 1 touchdown. All of them went over. The last one was a 2-minute drive, but the first 3 were over 5 minutes and got close to the red zone, if not in the red zone. So it was very ideal. And then the second half, it plummeted. The offense plummeted. It's done it all year. Don't know why we didn't triple team Mike Evans. I said it on this podcast. That would have been a great end of the season. But, hey, these guys want to go home. So it is what it is. It happens. Yes. Let's focus on the 9th pick and focus on resetting that cap, baby.
Dude, we get to pick back-to-back. It's going to be so much fun. We have, I don't want to say identical in terms of, cap space and stuff. But I want to say, Matt, we are so close to having the same offseason pretty much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's fun. And dude, we got a lot to look forward to this week as well. We'll get to that. Texans beat the Titans 23-14 with Davis Mills playing quarterback, by the way. I thought that they were going to do the Browns a favor and, have the Titans beat the Texans. It's not happening. Titans were losing that game. They clinched the number 1 overall pick. Cardinals beat the 49ers in 2 ways, 47-24, and then they also got in a fight that was, I want to say, in the second quarter. That one was kind of fun to watch as well. However, ended in a blowout, big whoop. Trey McBride, dog, just saying, lots of fun. Broncos beat the Chiefs 38-0. Thanks a lot, Chiefs. I mean, everybody was rooting for you this time. For the first time this season, probably. That way the Bengals could get in. And
I was so happy for this. Because the Saints were the only team to be shut out this year. And now there's only 2 teams that were shut out this season, the 15-2 Chiefs and the New Orleans Saints, the known powerhouses of the NFL.
Seahawks beat the Rams 30-25. Both teams ended 10-7. However, the Rams, I believe, held the tiebreaker in the division, so they won the division previously. Game didn't necessarily matter, so they sat the starters. But Jimmy Garoppolo didn't play very bad. I think that was a fun showing from him, so interesting. Chargers beat the Raiders 34-20. 11-6 on the year was not at all anything that I was expecting from this team. Considering the fact that they traded away Keenan Allen and they didn't have Austin Eckler on the team. They exceeded a lot of expectations. I'm excited for this week. We're going to get to that as well. Jets beat the Dolphins 32-20. Tyreek Hill had a midlife crisis afterwards, I guess, and, consulted the front office and ended up not wanting a trade, and then I don't know. He wants to be a Chief so bad, but it just didn't happen.
My opinion on that is I think he's going to be traded this offseason, and you can't have an interview. I feel like they kind of level-headed in a meeting, and Tyreek's kind of like, I want out. And they're like, all right, we can't say you want out or your value plummets. And it's kind of like Jimmy Butler with the Miami Heat. So it's, I mean, they're both in the same city. So I think they're kind of saying, oh, we'll get together, and then we're just going to have a bombshell drop. Tyreek Hill traded to X team, because they're working behind the scenes to get rid of him, because I don't think he's going to play for this team next year.
It's going to be a fun off-season topic to talk about, potentially, Tyreek Hill getting traded. So we'll see. And then what I thought was going to be the game of the year turned out just being Gibbs's game of the year. 31-9, Lions beat the Vikings to clinch that number 1 seed up in the NFC. Congratulations to the Lions. I mean, completely shutting out my expectations for this team. I mean, dude, the number 1 seed is very impressive. And I mean, with everything that they've endured this season, I mean, for this fan base, hey, you stuck through it. You deserve everything that's coming to you right now. That's awesome. I'm happy for this fan base, despite the fact they are a rival. This is a fun team. This is a gritty team. Dan Campbell, it's hard to hate this guy. I mean, unless you play against him twice a year. Like, it's just, this is just one of those situations where it's like you got to root for this team now because they're underdogs again. They've lost, half their roster to the IR at some point. David Montgomery expected to make a return either at the divisional round or NFC Championship if they could make it there. I mean, I'm excited to see what they can do. I would assume this team makes some noise. Get some rest, man. This team needs it. And I mean, that Vikings team, man, doing what the Vikings do around this time of the year, huh? I mean, we'll see exactly what they do in Los Angeles. We're going to predict it on the show. Thank you guys for tuning in so far. We're very excited to continue. Let's go ahead and move on to upset alert, unless you have – oh, no. You have a couple of the coach firings and firings just in general to cover for the week. But other than that, we'll move on after that.
Yeah, I mean, pretty simple. The Patriots fired Jerod Mayo right after the game. I was watching his body language. Am I a body language doctor like Bill Simmons? I don't know. But they got a 4th down stop to win the game, and there was barely a reaction on his face. I think Bob Kraft told him before the game he wasn't going to make it out of that game with a job. They win the game. He gets fired. Jacksonville fired Doug Peterson. He's been a dead man walking for a few weeks now. Raiders fire Antonio Pierce. That one, they kind of stalled it for Monday and led into Tuesday. There was kind of a question mark. They fired their offensive staff halfway through the year, Luke Getsy and Rick Scangarello, their quarterback's coach, midway through the year. So I don't think Antonio Pierce could have survived any of that. And then the Titans fire their GM, Rand Carthon, who just signed an extension last offseason. So he's good for Rand Carthon. I mean, he's got 4 years of money coming in to do nothing. So good for that guy. The Raiders inquired about Bill Belichick today. That was quickly turned away. He is the North Carolina head coach. He said it. The Bears requested Mike McCarthy, but were denied by the Cowboys. But his contract with the Dallas Cowboys expires on January 14th, 6 days from now. If he isn't signed with the Cowboys by that date, he can interview with the Bears with no request tag, because you see most of these teams are requesting because they're affiliated with a different team. But yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. And then we get to coordinator fires. Ryan Grubb in Seattle, former Washington college coordinator. He got fired from Seattle for a 10-win season. That offense was not that good. Ken Dorsey in Cleveland. Defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo, 6 seasons with Cincinnati. He was the architect of the downfall of Patrick Mahomes. He's fired after 6 seasons because they needed someone to fire for a season like this on the defensive end. Gus Bradley was fired in Indy. Same thing we said before with with Jim Irsay. Someone had to pay for this. They pay it with Gus Bradley instead of the GM and head coach, and then Nick Sorensen with San Francisco. So that's the biggest fires. There's guys are going to get requested. We don't have time to go through every single candidate on this show. Guys will get hired here and there. I think the only one we're all kind of in agreement with is Mike Vrabel. Going to New England feels like a perfect fit. But then again, someone could pounce on him early. What if the Jets come in and give him an offer he can't refuse?
Yeah. Let's see here. All right. Thank you for that little bit of information. We do want to note that we will not be covering the rumors of the coaches until we hear something that's pretty set in stone. There's so much going on, and there's a lot of smoke, and we don't want to steer you in the wrong direction. Sorry. So, until if one of us, by the grace of God, could hear something around the league, to where this can be confirmed, that's where we're at. So,
yeah. I'll wait for Rappaport or Schefter to drop in with a X-team hires coach, and then I think we could talk about it on this podcast. I don't think we have to discuss rumors.
Yeah. So Ben is still in the studio, by the way. I want to kind of update everything. There's stuff happening kind of behind the scenes, and out of respect to others, as well as, those of you listening to the podcast, we want to kind of block out that outside noise as much as possible and, make sure that everything sounds right to you guys listening. So hopefully Ben can hear, because we're about to start. Oh, I guess upset alert. I apologize. I don't want to skip ahead too far. You're probably sitting there looking like, what is he doing right now? Matt, probably like, this guy is a moron. Anyways. Yeah. Sorry guys. Little rusty. So Broncos at Bills is going to be my first upset alert. Kind of crazy. I know. Bills are minus 440. And I'll be honest with you. I know rookie quarterback. It's going to be tough to pick them. Blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing. The Broncos defense matches up very well against this Bills offense. Now I know Josh Allen playing out of his mind right now. Trust me, I would know more than anybody. He just won me a fantasy football championship. So, just saying, this could happen. I'm rooting for the Bills. I hope that the Bills win this game. I hope that they win it all. It's just the way that this looks right now. Yeah, minus 440 is not something I would be taking at all. Don't bet minus 440. Don't put anything on that. It's not worth it. Matt, any takes on Broncos Bills?
Yeah, I think your defensive point speaks volumes. This is a very attacking defense. They have two guys, Nick Bonito and Pat Surtain, who are true game breakers on the defensive end. And all it takes is, we have seen good Josh Allen all season. What happens if this game is 10-10 at half, as football games tend to go, and he makes a drastic turnover, whether it be a fumble, whether it be an interception, and all of a sudden you feel the life suck out of Buffalo. I think that could happen. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. Bo Nix is taking care of the ball all season, and there's going to be no game where Sean Payton drills that into his head than a playoff game. Their first playoff game since their Super Bowl run, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah.
This is a team that is ready for the moment, and I think they have the players to do it. I mean, they won 10 games for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Commanders at Buccaneers is my next one. Buccaneers are favorites at minus 175, and I'm putting them on upset alert. Jaden Daniels, man, I'm telling you, I mean, he's been playing well. But again, you got to talk about the rookie quarterback situation. Hey, Baker's been playing good football too. I got to give him credit as well. So, I mean, it's the playoffs. Anything could happen at this point. I mean, if I were to bet that game, I'd say the Buccaneers would probably go on my parlay, but it's not a fun one. I'd be sweating it. I mean, that's where I'm at. I do think that this would probably be a little more of a shootout, but the thing that kind of worries me is the Buccaneers defense, and how they're going to manage Jaden Daniels. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Jaden Daniels has done an impressive job of taking care of the ball, and the way they move the ball with him. I saw a tweet the other day that he had 75 quarterback scrambles this year. That is the most in the next gen stats era, which is spanned over a decade. They are running an out of the box offense, and it's working. They won 11 games because of it. If they continue to take care of the ball, they take their timely shots, stay out of the hard downs, which is what Washington has done all year. I think they could absolutely win this game. It's not Baker will give you some. Baker will give you some over the middle of the field, just reckless digs over the middle of the field because, for the love of the game throws. So if they take advantage of it, I would not, and get some short fields, I would not be surprised by that outcome.
Right. No, absolutely. So diving into our next segment here, I'm kind of curious to know, first off, let's see. Ben, if you can hear me, can you pop in really quick? Possibly. Maybe. If he doesn't pop in 5 seconds, we're going to go ahead and jump ahead because we need him for what's scheduled next. All right. So what we're going to go ahead and do, I'm calling an audible here. We are going to be predicting our playoff brackets. Yeah. And this is kind of going to be like Pigskin Pick'em / whatever. But I don't want to announce our full winners and stuff like that until Ben is back. So unless Ben either tells me, hey, I'm not coming back today, sorry guys, or if he tells me, hey, I'll be back in X amount of minutes, we'll make something work. But the results are coming, hopefully today. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quick so that Matt, you, my friend, can predict your playoffs. So you can go ahead and start with me, buddy. Who do you think is going to win this week? Starting with the AFC.
Start with the AFC. I'm gonna take Houston, Baltimore, and Buffalo. Take all the home teams.
All right, and then in the NFC, who you got?
I'm gonna take the Rams, the Commanders, and the Packers.
And the Packers. Ooh,
yep.
Spicy.
They
all
did
right.
it in this exact
Divisional
same spot
round
last year.
Yep,
I'm gonna
that's
take
true.
the Ravens and the Chiefs.
Unfortunate it is to see this team still in the AFC Championship. However, have they been in the playoffs without Patrick Mahomes, or have they been in the playoffs and made it? Hold on, I can't word things right.
They've made it to the
Patrick
AFC
Mahomes and
Championship
not
every
every time with Patrick Mahomes?
Yes,
Thank you
got
for
it.
understanding what I'm trying to talk about.
Yep.
Holy cow. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. NFC, what do we got?
I'm going to take the Rams and the Lions.
Nice. All right. You love to see it. Stafford going to
So we
Detroit
get-
for a trip to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
And then Lamar.
Big narrative guy.
Go.
Lamar finally slays the boogeyman, Patrick Mahomes. We have the Ravens going to the Super Bowl. And for the third time, Detroit beats their former lover, Matthew Stafford.
Wow. So here you go, ladies and gentlemen. According to Matt, Ravens versus Lions in the Super Bowl. Who's taking it all this year?
I mean, this could be a super high-scoring game. This could be low-scoring. It could be everything that we beg of. The Lions finally in the Super Bowl. The Ravens, who feel like a perennial Super Bowl team, but not really. They're always around the spot, but they've only won it that one time in the last 20 years. I have the Ravens. Lamar Jackson finally gets his ring, finally gets his due diligence. I think he's going to lose the MVP, but he's focused on something else, and that's winning a Lombardi trophy.
That's awesome. It's interesting. It is. I mean, Matt, fun week of football ahead of us, huh? I'm looking forward to it. Let me go ahead and give my predictions really quick. So, I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers beating the Texans this week.
I think it's
Texans
a coin flip game.
Without Tank Dell. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that at this point, Harbaugh, he knows what he's doing, and Herbert, he knows what he's doing. It's going to be fun. I don't know. Nico Collins, is he going to make some noise? Is he not? CJ Stroud, is he going to be able to play well? If not, what are you doing? Blah, blah. Well, Ravens Steelers. I'm sorry. I have to go with the Ravens, but this one I feel like is going to be so incredibly low scoring that like anybody that bets Ravens is going to be sweating, a lot.
It's 10 whole points. It's 10 whole points,
yeah.
man. It's division
don't
rival.
see
Game's
it.
always close.
But Broncos, Bills, I do expect the better quarterback to win here. However, this is not the last that you'll see of Bo Nix. I expect them to be a wild card team consistently, always fighting with Pittsburgh until Kansas City regresses enough to where they should be, lower, than what they are. In the NFC, gonna go ahead and side with, I'm gonna trust Stafford here. I am. I expect that one to be a shootout. I do, and if not, hey, I said it was gonna be a shootout last week too, and it was not a shootout last week, so not good. Buccaneers, Commanders. I am so biased. I am so biased to where I'm gonna pick the Bucs because I trust Baker enough right now at this point in time, especially after last year, to make some noise against a team that's really, really pushing. And then I'm never gonna pick the Packers. I'm never going to pick the Packers. Especially not against Philly this year. And I mean that team is decimated. If you hit Jordan Love one time in that wrong area, I'm telling you right now, it is not even going to be close to the week 1 matchup that we saw between those two teams. So in the AFC, throwing it back, Buffalo, Baltimore. Who am I going to pick?
I know.
Oh, what happened? Oh no, I clicked and did not pick the Ravens. That's crazy. Bills. Thank you very much. This is where things get interesting. See you later, Mr. Patrick Mahomes. Have fun with your newborn. Better luck next year. Not happening. Chargers against the Bills in the AFC Championship. Now, I know what you're thinking. This guy doesn't know ball. Well, thanks for listening. Buccaneers, Eagles. Ben would have a heart attack. I know he might be listening to me right now. He might have just started sweating right now. Who knows? He shouldn't. He shouldn't sweat. He shouldn't. This team is good. And as much as I really hate to say it, because majority of Philly fans, I love Ben. Ben's my best friend, one of 2 best friends, and I mean, Matt, if your Saints were in this too, man, I'm telling you, like, I would really vouch for you. I mean, I am. But anyways.
Yeah, we're on the same playoff missing streak, brother.
It's not fun. It's not fun. Rams, Lions, happening 1 week earlier than what you predicted. However, I'm going to lean Rams. This Lions team
both
is
the
hurt.
1 seeds out in their first matchup.
Yeah, it's not looking great. So, conference championship, I think that this could go either way for the AFC. Actually, both matchups. However, Josh Allen, I let me just say this: it's not as much Bills as it is me not trusting Justin Herbert to get to the Super Bowl. At least not in his first year of Harbaugh. I think they can make some noise and get here.
The team from LA going to Buffalo. It's a tough trip.
It's tough. Yeah. I hope that the Chargers girl makes it out there if this happens. And then Rams, Eagles. I'm going to take the Eagles. Eagles go to the Super Bowl. And both of us extremely jealous at this point. What happens? Oh no, I misclicked. I'm just kidding. No, I didn't. Buffalo's winning this thing. Buffalo's winning it. Josh Allen beating the Eagles.
Eagles are winning
it. Well, hey, perfect timing, buddy.
Did he just
we got to do yours
bracket?
Now. This guy.
Really? The Eagles
Typical
fan?
Eagles fan.
Super Bowl?
So what are we looking at here, Ben? Starting in the AFC. What do you got?
Charges.
Chargers. Nice. All right.
Charges.
Steelers at Ravens.
Ravens.
And then Broncos Bills.
Hey, Bo Nix was fun in a few years. I think this might be a little bit more competitive. But the Bills.
Yeah. NFC. What you got?
Vikings. And Vikings are actually the Vikings that cover 2.5 is actually plus money right now. Just something to think about.
They're favored by 2.5?
A little so. No, well, they're favored by 1.5, but if you go and you do the alt spread, it's actually plus 108 for them. If you do 2.5 versus 1.5. So yeah,
I have the Rams winning.
The 1 point swing making it minus to plus makes no sense, but we're here for it. We're making money. Now this Commanders Buccaneers game, I think, is going to be the hardest game of the entire slate to pick, and I don't know where you guys swung, on this. We're gonna go Bucks. We're gonna have the Buccaneers win this one.
All right. And then I was gonna say, yeah. Next
shocker.
Up, AFC. Yeah, yeah. Ravens Bills. What do you got?
The Ravens the Ravens beat them the first time. Josh Allen looked really, really bad in that game. I think the Bills are going to get their get back. Bills.
Chargers Chiefs.
Chiefs.
And then Eagles Bucks. Are you sweating yet?
Which is like my kryptonite. I don't know what it is about Todd Bowles, but we just can't beat him, which is just absolutely ridiculous. I'm going Eagles. Come on.
All right. Vikings Lions.
For the sake of being different, it won't matter because I'll have the Eagles winning the next game anyways. For the sake of being different, we'll have the Vikings win.
Gross. All right. Bills Chiefs.
Bills, and then the Eagles win it all.
Wow. All right. Could you guess?
Go Birds! Yeah. I know the flag's not in the background, so my camera decided not to work, but go Birds!
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and get into Pigskin Payout. Matt, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, let me make something.
Or Ben, do you have it?
Yes, I was gonna say I can go for it if Matt wants to take a second. Again, this is my favorite.
Let me go in the apps
that we have here. We're gonna do Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown score. I think he had 2 or 3 of them when we played him week 1, which is beautiful. Nico over 50 yards. We're gonna play it safe with Baker just because of the whole Mike Evans versus Marshawn Lattimore thing. So we're just going to say plus 175 for Baker. Just making sure it's going to hit no matter what. And like I said, the Vikings at plus 2.5 in the alternate spread, just work the margins and get money where you can. It's a bit too easy.
Wait,
those are going to be my 4 picks. Yeah, what did I say?
Plus.
Yeah, minus 2.5. I mean, plus would have worked too, but your payout definitely would be changing if you did that. But yeah, Vikings minus 2.5. That brings your total to just nothing crazy. I'm not about doing anything crazy. It just brings you up plus 343. I actually have $10 on it myself right now. That's how confident I am I'm going to hit. I usually don't place my own cachet on these, but I'm a big fan of that one. So I went and threw $5 on that one. was pretty confident about that one.
This is the craziest parlay that I have ever put out on this segment.
You are not doing you are not doing the 19 Laker.
I'm not. However, I did place that today. So, J.K. Dobbins anytime touchdown at plus 120. Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown at plus 230. Josh Allen anytime touchdown minus 125. A.J. Brown anytime touchdown at plus 135. Terry McLaurin anytime touchdown 145. Jordan Addison anytime touchdown 145. $10 is going to win you 1,600. You're going to want to place that. Only anytime touchdown bets from me, and it's one from every matchup. Yeah. And yeah, it's going to be a fun week. Let's hit. Let's hit. Matt?
Yeah, I'm very close.
Only anytime touchdowns for us?
Maybe something good.
I'm very close. So, in the Packers and Texans game, I have bought 3 points. Buying 3 points is a way of, making a tease if you don't know sports betting. So, instead of Packers 4.5, I have Packers plus 7.5. I have Houston Texans instead of plus 2.5. I have them at plus 5.5. I have the over in Commanders Buccaneers. It'll be in Tampa Bay. I think both teams score. And then the final leg is the Rams to win. The Rams are going to win the game. So that is plus 773. 10 wins you $77. 100 wins you $777.
Nice.
Rams are going to win. Well, let's spend a second. Okay, let's not to cut you off here because I missed the portion. I don't know how much you guys deep dove into these games here. I think people are putting too much weight on a bad game from Sam Darnold. He had a bad game. There's no doubt about it. He couldn't hit the side of a bar.
I'm taking the Rams because they beat them this year.
Well, I know they beat them this year,
because I trust their offense more than I trust the Vikings defense.
Yeah.
That Vikings defense has been a lot of fun under Flores. I'll say that.
True.
But I think Sam's gonna. I don't know. I think Sam's gonna bounce back. I mean, it's always hard to pick against Stafford in the playoffs because he's Stafford. But I think there's a lot of weight that got put in this Lions-Vikings game. And I think Sam's going to play with his hair on fire. I think JG's going to play with his hair on fire.
Well, he better put it out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
You're so funny.
Oh.
Yeah.
Speaking on that, if the Fires don't go down, they will play in Arizona. So that was a...
Yeah.
Prayers to
Center
everyone
first to everyone. Yeah.
Speaking of fire, I have to talk about this really quick. Pigskin Pick'em. Matt was on fire this week. 14-2, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a round of applause. I mean, 14-2 is insane. Ben, congratulations. You beat me in a week. 10-6. I went 9-7 on the week. However, I beat everybody in percentage. I went 183 and 87 on the year, 67%. Now this is where things get interesting. Did Matt do enough to beat Ben on the year, despite being here for only half the season? Did his win percentage top Ben's? Yes, it did by 1%.
Yay!
Oh, there you go.
1%. Matt went 94 and 57 on the year, 62%. And then Ben went 168 and 102, 61%.
It was a worthy battle.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It was, yes.
What a battle. It was fun. Matt really just clutched up at the last second, 14-2. Insane.
Pressure's a privilege. As my
Wait,
enemy
really quickly. Did obviously this is college stuff. Did you see that whole report about Riley Leonard and his mom? How his mom texts him before every game, "You suck," because throughout his entire life.
Mean.
Yeah, well, because I guess throughout his entire life, like everyone hyped him up. So he's like, I needed someone to tell me I was not good enough to motivate me. So before every game, Riley
That's
Leonard's mom since like high school texted him, "You suck."
Respect.
Which is
Respect
Hey.
to mama.
Speaking of
Respect to mama.
college, Texas playing OSU. I don't know. Sorry, I had to sneeze.
Oh,
It's weird.
I thought you were doing a
Yeah.
bit. I was
Yeah, but
I
it's
thought you were
game.
doing a bit.
I'm sorry, I might have missed that. I'm so full of joy about this game, man. I have to talk about it. OSU Texas, Matt, it's here, man. The thing that we asked for. I mean, it's here, man. Do we
Some are
talk
saying you
trash?
ducked
Do
We
it
both
last week.
shake our
predicted it.
hands?
We both
Wait.
predicted this.
There
We
was
both manifested this.
CT ESPN reported that Ryan was ducking last week. Is there any truth to these reports?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Mm.
There, I cannot confirm or deny. I don't know what you're talking about, actually. Wait a minute. It was on Thursday, right? That was So
Your
my
tooth.
wisdom tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wisdom tooth. Dude, I could not speak, dude. It was so
Hall of Fame
bad.
duck.
I'm telling you.
That's what it was. Yeah, blame it on the wisdom
anyways.
tooth, buddy.
I'm not ducking when I'm winning. So nah, man, I'm telling you, maybe I should just not be in the podcast if the Bears are gonna win. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just kidding. Never leaving. I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving.
College ball. I mean, Matt, what do we do here? Do we talk trash? Are we gonna talk trash, or is it
Let's
just a
break it
gentleman's?
down.
Hey, our teams suck, dude. Our teams suck. Congratulations for making it here. I'm excited to have you over my place, and I'm gonna be honest with you. If my team wins, I'm gonna be kind of sad in a way because you're gonna be going home with your head down. But if my team loses, I'm gonna be definitely sad because my team lost.
We will be talking trash. We will have fun with this. Breaking down the game, this is an awesome matchup. Like individually, Will Howard has never beaten Texas in his career. He's faced them 4 different times at Kansas State. Jahdae Barron is the Jim Thorpe Award, the best defensive back in the country. Jeremiah Smith might be the best player in the country. So those two have an opportunity to go at it. Quinn Ewers, of course, is the only 2021 recruit of Ohio State to beat Michigan, and he did it one try, and Ohio State had 4. So 1 is smaller than 4, and he is 1-0, and they are 0-4. This comes down to this is an attitude game. This is an attitude game for both sides. I've heard all week about how Ohio State's going to kill them. Ohio State's the best team in the country, and there's no doubt about it. But I remember when Ohio State faced a similar opponent to Texas this year, and that was Michigan, and they stubbed their toe all game long. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. It is in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, so it is. Everyone says it's a home game for Texas, but then again, Ohio State fans, they travel, man. I'm not going to sit here and say there's not going to be scarlet and red in that stadium. I'm just very excited, man, because this is a culmination. I feel like this is national championship feel to it. We got Penn State and Notre Dame, and
but who cares?
That's going to be fun in its own right. But the way people are talking about this game, I love that the SEC gets to ride Texas as we're one of their own now. But I mean, come on, it's the first year, and we already made it farther than everyone else. It's just everyone's playing catch up at this point. So yeah,
you lost to Georgia in the championship. And your
true.
quarterback might play for Notre Dame next year, from what I'm hearing.
It is true. The second part is not true. He's going to go in the NFL draft.
Okay.
But
gross. God.
I think I'm very fascinated by it. Because also another part of this is that these two teams play in week 1 next year. in Columbus. So someone is going to lose this game, and for 8 months be thinking about how they lost this game. And
Circle it on the calendar.
it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be an electric energy.
You might have to say the night that night. I don't know.
I'll say this: it'll be beautiful. It's going to be something for the ages if Texas beats Ohio State, because now we can both say Texas and Michigan beat Ryan's team in the same college football season, and he can't say anything. Because he can't even be like, oh, I won the national championship. We're going to be like, you lost to Michigan. Oh, you lost to Texas.
We didn't have to cheat to get here, though. Just saying.
The games that mattered, we didn't either, buddy.
Gawking like joy.
Asterisk. But anyways, I just want to say this really quick. I'm still very much a casual college football fan. I will be starting my scouting after the Super Bowl. So we beat Green Bay, and that's all that matters. And if I have to sacrifice every Ohio State Michigan game for a Bears beating Green Bay game, I'll sacrifice them all. To be honest with you.
The people in Columbus would not agree with you.
Yeah.
I just said something crazy. But I will say, Matt, so our team plays now, or our teams play each other now. Our teams play each other on week 1 next year. And then Bears Saints next year at Soldier. Dude, are we on the come up? Or I mean, is this a sign from the football guys?
Well, we're just battling. There's no sign.
Yeah.
We're just going at it.
I'm pretty sure
this
the
is
Eagles
clearly
play
a
the
sign.
Bears too next year.
Yeah, but I'm not excited about that one because I don't have a chance to win it. You know, I mean, according to history, I don't have a chance to win the Saints
quarterback. But we have Justin Fields at quarterback.
I know, and that's why I'm scared, because Fields, if he comes and signs with the Eagles, then he'll have even more of a revenge tour and really want to take it out, because I mean that roster is the best he's ever going to play with, and I mean he's got a good run game and he's got the receivers. I mean, dude, you can get him on a cheap
offensive
deal.
line,
trade Jalen Hurts somewhere.
Defense in the league.
I mean,
beautiful.
Justin Fields, man, I'm telling you. You might want to tell Jalen Hurts to watch his back in Philly.
Oh yeah. Okay,
but anyways, all right. So we have to talk about Penn State, Notre Dame. But yes, Ben. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's where I was. That's kind of where I was headed to as well. I think it is super easy to get lost in the Ohio State Texas game, because like that game feels like the game that matters more, that kind of has the national championship feel to it, because it kind of feels like that's the winner of that team's going to win it. At least that's the vibe in the feel of it. But it is going to be very, very interesting to see, because it is going to come down to whether or not they can stop Notre Dame can stop Abdul Carter on the edge and run the football, and vice versa. I mean, let's see if they can get pressure and kind of turn Drew Aller into the guy that we saw for the first 10 weeks of the season. And if you can do that, I think Notre Dame actually has a decent chance of winning this game. So it's, again, easy to have this game be overshadowed because of the game that's played the next day. But I think it's still going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I'm really interested to see more of the X's and O's versus the Jimmy and Joes in the Texas-Ohio State game. It's going to be fun.
I will say, don't count Penn State out as much as people are. I feel like Notre Dame.
No. Count them out. James Franklin. Anyways.
I'm cool with it. I don't like Penn State. That's fine. And Notre Dame making it to the national championship, it
would be fun.
Finish the job. They're not going to finish the job. Anyways, guys, Matt has some stuff about the transfer portal to talk about. And then if there's any other comments or anything like that you guys would like, just let me know. Let us all know, because I'm good at college.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about Penn State, Notre Dame.
First, yes, please.
Yeah, I think this comes down to who can, if either team gets a double-digit lead in this game, I feel like that team is going to have it in the bag. It's going to be played so tight in a way, because I think both of those coaches have never been there and don't know the opportunity they will be there again. I mean, it's set up a path for both teams, frankly. I mean, Notre Dame gets to play Indiana in their backyard. Same thing for Penn State against SMU. And then Notre Dame gets to face a backup quarterback, and Penn State gets to face a G5 team. So both of these teams are kind of in a, they're borrowing time of like, this is our one shot. So I could see some tight moments, some 4th and 2 punts from either side, just playing the field position, just trying not to give the other team any ounce of momentum, if you believe in that stuff. So it's going to be very interesting. It comes down to, can Riley Leonard throw the ball? That's my biggest question. He had 90 passing yards against Georgia, and he didn't have to pass. If they force him out of the pocket to, not be able to use his legs the way he did against Georgia, created explosives, they get a kick return touchdown, they get a fumble, they scored 17 points in 57 seconds, whatever it was. So, yeah, that's going to be very important for that game. But on to the transfer portal. Jaden Rashada. Let me find
wild story.
The exact timeline. This is absurd.
Yeah, while I can't get over this, and I'll let you dig deep into this. Ryan, do you have any clue who Jaden Rashada is? His backstory with his commitment? It is absurd. Matt's about to break it down. If you guys haven't heard about this, you guys need to listen up to what Matt is going to say, because this is the most unreal recruitment / transfer / asinine. Anyways, not to cut you off, I just feel some type of way about Jaden Rashada.
So yes, Jaden Rashada, he was a 2022 recruit. In June of 2022, he committed to Miami. In November of 2022, committed to Florida based on the agreement of a $10 million NIL deal. He was a 5-star quarterback in the state of Florida, so Billy Napier really wanted to get him. He signs with Florida in December on signing day, and then, not even a month later, receives his release from Florida. So he left the program within a month because the NIL structure, the boosters didn't want to pay up, whatever. He wasn't going to get his money. So he received his release from Florida. He signed with ASU. He played in 3 games. He was with ASU for the 2023 season, and then skipped out on the transfer portal in the winter of last season. But in 2024, this year, in the spring transfer portal, when he was beaten out by Sam Leavitt, Michigan State transfer, he leaves ASU. He transfers to Georgia, and within a month of being at Georgia, he sues Billy Napier and a Florida booster because he didn't get his money. So imagine that. A kid just committed to Georgia and is suing the rival, Florida. And then just a few days ago, he has been put in the transfer portal. He is leaving Georgia. He did not play a snap, even in a world where Carson Beck could not play in the Notre Dame playoff game or the SEC championship second half. He didn't play a snap. Gunnar Stockton was the man. He was the one taking the backup reps against UMass and all their FCS programs. So it's a wild story. It's one of those things. Malachi Nelson committed to UTEP, another one of those guys that I think we just toss it up like it's probably a bust. He was a number 1 overall recruit. Went to USC, then transferred to Boise State, lost out to Maddox Matson, and now he is at UTEP. Jaron Sankapatelli, he is another interesting quarterback. So he signed with Oregon. He is a 2024 recruit. He signed with Oregon. This is where the transfer portal to me is a ridiculous thing. He signed his sign of commitment to Oregon.
National letter of intent.
Yes. In December. He was with the team for the Rose Bowl. He entered the transfer portal. I don't know how that's possible. He has not played a down or been eligible to play a down of college football yet, and he went into the portal and within days committed to Cal because he wasn't going to play. Because he wasn't going to play, and that's fine. But we're drawing a very tough line with these guys that this can happen. This is a major name, major recruit that it is what it is. I mean, I can't change the system, but this is what the system is giving us. And then just some other names, Zion and Zachariah Branch, a DB and receiver brother duo, went from USC to Georgia. Takario Davis, who's been a name who's floated around NFL circles, he went from Arizona to Washington. Mekhi Hughes, the running back from Tulane, he committed to Oregon, assigned Jordan James. Their running back is likely to enter the draft. Zion Nelson, I was interested by this. He was it 2023, Ben, or was it last year? Because he was a name in NFL circles.
2023 was
yeah.
It's been both years, but 2023 was really when he came on the scene.
He's the tackle from Miami. He is committed to SMU, and then Noah Thomas, Texas was really pushing hard for him. He was at A&M. He committed to Georgia. So 2 major receiver signings for Georgia after the dreadful season they had at their skill positions this year. And then some guys just announcing for the draft. Jalen Milroe, the Alabama quarterback, Michael Williams, and Jalen Walker, the Georgia edge rushers. Ashton Genty, the Heisman runner-up.
Shocker.
He came out for the draft. Jahad Campbell, a Bama linebacker. He's a top 45 pick. And then Travis Hunter and Shador Sanders out of Colorado. I don't know if that's been announced, but we haven't announced it on this show, so that I thought that was important. But that's all the college football notes from me. So,
yes. So really quickly, I'll say this. So the whole Rashada stuff, I think, is a perfect picture of where the college football portal is kind of headed in the money and all of that stuff, and we're kind of seeing the repercussions of that. In terms of the Jaron stuff, the Cal quarterback who was at Oregon and then Cal, I think the situation with that was he practiced with them for the Rose Bowl, and he looked at it and he said, "No, there's no way." Starter. Yeah, he looked at Dante Moore and he said, "There's no way I'm getting any playing time," and then he transferred. But this is something that you, of all people, shouldn't be shocked by, but should understand. Obviously, for different reasons. If you want to look into the reasons, you can go ahead and look that up. I'm not going to explain it to you guys on this podcast. If you know, you know. X did the same thing, though, Xavier Worthy. He was at Michigan. He practiced, and again, for different reasons. I cannot stress that enough. But he started at Michigan, and he practiced at Michigan, and did not play a single snap at Michigan before the season started. He transferred to Texas. So this is something that we have seen before with recruits signing and then saying, I don't know, this isn't a fit for me. While it's not something we see often, it is something that we've seen before. And again, it is a wild story. Again, not podcast appropriate, but it is a very interesting story if you want to dig into the reason as to why X left and why Josh Gaddis was no longer the offensive coordinator at Michigan. But the college football transfer portal is wild. I mean, me and you, Matt, we spent a good hour talking about it the other day. It really is something, and I think there needs to be some more rules or something put in place for both the transfer portal and NIL. I don't know what that is. I'm not getting paid to figure that out, but there needs to be some guidelines. There needs to be rules. There needs to be bylaws, whatever it needs to be put in place to handle this. And this is coming from, again, a Michigan fan, someone who the only reason we got our quarterback was because of the money. It's just, for me, college football will always be fun, but it's killing a little bit of that lore for me. Because it was always something about doing it for the loyalty for your school, doing it for the pride of your school, and it's no longer that. It's where can I go and play immediately and make the most money. But look at Arch. Arch is the last one we have left that's actually doing it for the love of the game and for the loyalty and pride of the school. So thank you, Arch, for that, but I'll get off my soapbox and we can move on.
So last but not least, I mean, I just want to say, guys, I'm excited. Matt, I'll see you on Friday.
No way.
I'm gonna make the executive decision this week and say no Weddle. Next week. So, but I will say this.
Ducking Weddle.
I'm very excited. Yeah. I will say this, Matt. I'm excited to see you on Friday, man. It's going to be a heck of a game, no matter what. Best of luck to you here, Ben. Again, I know I've set it off, the record and everything like this, but I just want to say to people, because this technically has something to do with football because it's at a football stadium. My girlfriend and I will be going to the Royal Rumble at Lucas Oil, and Ben is being so kind to lend me a spot at his place to crash at when we go down. So Ben, thank you so much. Excited to see you at the end of the month.
Yes.
But do you guys have any kind of closing messages for the people?
If your team's in the playoffs, good luck to you, as long as you're not a Packers fan.
Yep.
But good luck to you and your team. This is, again, yes. This is what football is all about. This is the time of year where you can really enjoy it. Have fun, and good luck to all of your teams, as long as you're not, again, a Packer or OSU fan. So.
Yeah.
All right, bud. Hold on.
Enjoy the stretch of football. We have Thursday and Friday college football playoff games, and then we have Saturday,
Sunday,
Monday. We have wild card
and
football.
Monday.
So yeah, I mean it's 5 straight days of loser leaves town football. I don't think at the 2 highest levels we have. Sorry XFL, but it's just I'm very excited for this stretch of football because everyone's gonna be talking, everyone's gonna be chatting, Lane Kiffin's gonna be tweeting. That's what I care about.
Yes.
This is the last time you're going to see this long of a stretch of football for a long time. It's going to seem so long, but it's just a few months. And
crazy to think
this
the regular
podcast
season's
here,
almost over. Or is over. It blew by.
Yeah.
It blew by.
It feels like just maybe last month we were at Detroit for the draft. It's crazy. And
It
now
didn't,
they could be on the
but
verge of
you're-
winning a Super Bowl.
Cook.
Hey, whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Pigskin Project. We want to thank Uppercuts Grooming, Regional Radio Sports Network, and Spotify for Podcasters for helping us grow as a podcast. Enjoy yourself this week, and ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you guys next week.